Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns. Today, we have the rare vanilla race here for you today. The Link to the Past NMG league is currently going on. This is the final race of week 1. The Tower Hera division between matt7898 and Ray07. Joined on comms today by Clearmouse and by Airy Roar. How are you two doing?
I can't complain. Always looking forward to a good race, and these are two great people to be watching.
Oh yeah, heck, for sure. Yeah, I'm doing great. I am also, as you are, looking forward to this to this race. So we have Matt and Ray facing off in the Tower of Hera division. This is the, I guess, like fastest of the 8. Present company, of course, I believe is also another member of this bracket of the top 8, I think, of the NMG, just based on qualifiers. Fun fact. Matt and Ray actually finished or submitted ultimately with their qualifier of the exact same time, at least down to the second, with a 1:25.10. So should be, I think, a very interesting close race.
Yeah, I mean, we already had a really close race that went down to within the second. So
that is true. That was actually very exciting as well. Yeah.
If we can get another one of these, I'll be more than happy because it should be very exciting. Yeah, we've had some really good races already this week across all the divisions and multiple races within a few seconds. And yeah, we'll see how Matt and Ray are going to do. They're both, I mean, very well known across multiple communities in both the NMG and Rando. They've both done their fair share in either. Matt, obviously, very well known for winning one of the SGLs.
Oh yeah, Matt, and I'm sure also Ray know what to do with once we get past like the 11-ish minute mark with boots. Matt in this case is probably a bit more decorated, and just as you mentioned in terms of titles versus Ray, but definitely Ray never count Ray out in this case. It's probably one of those kind of like guys who I guess is more kind of like flies under the radar, and then suddenly you face him and then you just get like smacked.
Yeah, for sure. Like over the past half a year, he's had multiple really, really insane paces that he just hasn't managed to close out yet. But like he's had paces that, I mean, I would have been okay with in an average run. Like,
oh yeah,
just runs that like out of Skullwoods you could potentially 123. And his early game is really, really solid. So
yeah, in fact, I think
looking out for that.
Yeah, and I think he recently even posted something in Discord where I think his light world was absolutely like crazy. Even going past Ice Pass, I think something unfortunate happened in Mire, which it does happen every once in a while. But yes, as you said, right, you just kind of need to put together, like in this case, like 1 or 2 really solid runs. Basically, he's going to be able to smash that 124 record. So speaking of though, so his official PBs that's on SRL is a 125 like 17, I think, or something like that. He has an unofficial PB of 125.05. His qualifier time was 125.10. I mean, so he is like super close, right? Basically, he just needs to see a little bit of extra, oomph in order to get over that hump.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And of course, Matt, he has in fact broken the 125 record. He got a 124.58 kind of late last year. Kind of one of those things that he, I mean, you talk about a dedicated factory worker. Like Matt had put in like 2 shifts a day, afternoon and evening, running basically every single day, like doing all this overtime. I mean, but for like months on end, and he managed to basically grind down his like high 125 time basically down to a 124. So certainly very doable. Very accomplished. He has managed to, break it. But as you said, like it's just, these 2 guys are very accomplished, and it's kind of just a matter of time in this case, like for Ray to be able to just kind of, break the barrier as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, both of them have put a lot of time into the game over the past year, and yeah, the improvements have definitely shown as well. So yeah, the combination of all that effort kind of comes down to this week 1 race.
Yeah, we're talking about kind of being pretty synced here. Talking about very players of very like even but very top tier ability. Almost pretty much. Both of course going for the A strat. On ball and chain guard. Looks like though we got a little bit. So Matt had to take a little bit of time in order to kind of boomerang the green guard that got into his way. Versus Ray, I think he just kind of he didn't really care what was in his way. He just kind of pushed through.
Yeah, all the differences in Escape and Eastern are mostly just going to be like fewer than 1 second difference. So even though there are going to be minor shifts in who gets the lead and who loses the lead, it's all going to be in very small increments. And it's really maybe like the end of Eastern, and then like the end of Desert, where you're going to see bigger swings in time losses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as you said, and so of course, Escape being the first segment of the game, it is. My guess, is that it's probably the most often played segment. Not only, of course, because Escape is, is the first one, but also if you end up restarting your run for whatever reason, you have to go through the Escape sequence again. And of course, as being part of the first segment, there's not a lot of movement enhancements you can have, right? You have your D-pad. You have your D-pad. Yep. That's kind of about it. Maybe you're hoping in this case like the enemies don't really kind of get in that get in your way. But yeah, so like as you said, enemy RNG, it does well make a difference. It's probably not going to be like a make or break deal type of thing, right?
No.
Within a few seconds.
Maybe for like PB attempts, you get a bit of a rough RNG, and you're like, well, maybe I lost 2 or 3 seconds. Might as well just do it over again.
Yeah.
See if I can do a little bit better. But yeah, both getting pretty okay RNG so far. Again, differences are within a second so far.
Yeah, that was actually kind of a nice damage boost for what it's worth on Ray's side. We got to damage boost to the right from the Ropa. But unfortunately, he also had to take a little bit of time in this case to kind of boomerang one other Ropa out of the way, right? Because he was just going to be a damage boost down. Versus Matt, like in this case, I think he had a pretty clear sailing or walking, whatever, up the corridor.
Yeah, he had a bad flying into space, which kind of.
That's true. Yeah. But so far, no heartbeats of encouragement from on Matt or Ray's side. In fact, Matt is looking pristine in terms of health, super ready to. Maybe with full health. I mean, in a race, I assume you might pick up Sankar, but would you? Okay.
I don't know if there's anyone actually in this group who would actually skip Sankar.
Okay. Yeah, actually, good point. Yeah, I think very few people have done it. Although speaking of, we get a little bit of speed up here on Ray's side because it looks like he got raw frames coming out of Escape.
Yeah. Nice second time save there for the Eastern split. It's a little bit of you getting slashing and getting hit is a little bit of an investment, but the reduction of lag that you get while talking to the priest there is so big. Just look how much Ray is now ahead of Matt after first game.
Yeah, and the fact that while it wasn't exactly like a side-by-side text box comparison, right? It was quite noticeable, as you said, to be able to just kind of see Matt kind of talking normal speed to the priest versus Ray's what is it, like 2x, or it's not quite 2x, but right, but it's the fast-forwarded version, right, of the dialogue. Which for how much dialogue this game has in total, any amount you can fast forward or speed up, it is definitely to your benefit. Oh no, the rock.
Yeah, but this is definitely the point where Ray is really happy about picking up Sankar. Otherwise, he would be at 1 heart. Now he has 3.5, so he has more than he might have in an actual PB attempt if he would potentially skip it. And there is quite a little bit in the Eastern overworld that can go wrong if the Octoroks are in the way or just have like a little unexpected movement. It's very easy to just take a hit and then you keel over.
Yeah, and especially the Sankar, being we only have 3 hearts starting out, at the beginning of the game. That 4th heart is actually, it just takes up so much more value, right? Versus because that 4th heart is 33% more, right, health than you would originally have, versus like maybe towards like the mid game or even like the end game, where after you've killed 10 bosses, suddenly you're up to like 12-ish, 10, 11 hearts, and it's like that 13th heart, while it can certainly save your life, right, it's less impactful. Right, so especially early game, while as we are here in Eastern Palace, the first quote-unquote official, I guess, dungeon of the game, escaping the first unofficial one. While the enemies are not meant to do a lot of damage, we certainly do encounter some very fast and powerful enemies, like the Igors, which they don't care about what armor you have. He always does 1 heart of damage, and if they somehow can kind of corner you down, it is suddenly very, very scary, and you really kind of want that extra heart as buffer.
Yeah, and usually it wouldn't be that bad, but especially in the early splits, we also take a lot of damage. Like intentionally, like we have the big key damage boost coming up. We have in Hera, you do a bomb jump, and there's like a lot of incremental damages that make you have a lot less leeway if you would skip Sank Heart. And just having that extra hard buffer, like sometimes, like has a very, very big effect on how much leeway you get.
Yeah, and I think this might be kind of like a more general statement. It is that so long as you can kind of play like as if you're not fearing of death, basically just kind of playing in your comfort zone, right? So typically means, as you said, just being able to kind of take intentional damage and then not have to kind of worry about like afterwards, right? That means you can basically be, well, let's say maybe a bit more aggressive. Maybe play towards more of, you can play faster, you can get closer to enemies, basically kind of make that margin of error or distance or buffer, whatever, a bit smaller. Versus you got to play a bit more, as I said, conservatively. You take an errant hit, suddenly you're on half a heart, and now you're all worried because you don't want to die, right? And now suddenly, kind of as a consequence, you're suddenly not playing as comfortably, as well, probably as smoothly, and then you end up kind of taking more damage as a result, or just even going slower, right?
Yeah, sometimes playing safely puts you out of your comfort zone as well.
Exactly.
Allows you to make more mistakes instead. Yeah, throughout this Eastern, Ray has kind of extended his lead a little bit. In the big chest room, though, he took a little bit of an awkward hit by a Stelphos, ran into him, kind of misjudged how far the Stelphos would walk. So now he's kind of back into no Sank Heart territory. Oh, okay, he got super lucky that the Igor didn't drop an arrow there.
Oh yeah, talking about kind of getting very fortunate though. We did get 1 arrow drop and an extra heart for buffer. Not that we kind of needed, I think, on Armos.
Yeah, you never know.
No, that's very true. It's very true. Looks like we are actually a slightly modified version of the quick kill on Ray's side.
Yeah, look like his armors for both okay. Matt shooting an extra arrow, but still very, very nice fight on both sides. Matt having the extra rupees as well, going to be a little bit of a factor.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even notice that. So Matt is swimming in money. Not quite literally, but having 20 rupees early on is a very, very nice purse in this case. Ray, well, he does have a lot more opportunities still to pick up money. We would like a little bit of just a couple more dollars or rupees, to his name, but it is not certainly worth worrying about too much so far.
Yeah. So all in all, out of escape, 4-second difference between the two runners, so not too much of a gap just yet. But yeah, Ray with the early lead. Well,
Yeah. No, and of course, right. I mean, anytime, races are, as we've seen probably earlier in this week, right, there have been many a race even kind of told the difference between, just a few seconds. One even came down to the second, right? So 4 seconds may not sound like as much, maybe especially early in Light World, but, if your race is going to be close, especially with the skill level gap, between Matt and Ray, right, 4 seconds actually can mean quite a bit of difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, of course, that being said, there is a lot of game left to play, and there's a lot of opportunity for Matt to kind of make up, some of that time over Ray. Also, more time for Ray to extend his lead as well. So,
But yeah, this is kind of where the game really starts. We already saw one of the minor glitches that we're able to use spin speed. Well, I guess for most, this is not the first time they've watched one of these races, so I'm not sure how much we need to go in depth on every single minor glitch that we see. But that's boots true. Are great, just remember that. Right,
yeah. And actually, yeah, so spin speed going into library, so that does actually save a little bit of time, right, over Matt, which he just kind of, dashed right through.
Yeah, it's very hard to do the spin speed well and get into everything cleanly and off the stairs cleanly and save time with it. It's like a half a second time save. Do everything super tight. But yeah, it's also just a lot of Link to the Past is just doing strats that you find fun and that you are comfortable with. And if you think it's worth going for, just do it.
Oh yeah. And I will say, like, so far, like Ray, and of course also Matt's movement as well has been actually like fairly, fairly clean. I think the only thing I really noticed was like Ray had to do like a very minor adjustment coming, I guess like dashing down in South Shore. I think Matt missed like one specific. Other than that, though, their movements have been very, very good. Going into here in Desert, we're gonna do a book dash. For anybody? Guess not.
No, the book dash is a little correct.
Oh no!
I think Matt actually missed a spin speed or something. He
missed a spin speed at a library. I think that was the only thing that I noticed. Yeah,
a little bit of time lost there.
Yeah.
But Ray had a really good overall, just like a mid 40s entry, which is definitely what you're looking for.
Yeah, of course, yeah, and the one thing that I think Ray is going to be maybe taking, I'm not sure if he knows to go out of his way, but as you did mention out before, we are seeing his rupee counter at a very paltry 2. If there's like a blue rupee, ideally maybe one of these popos here on the right side would be able to just drop him, a red rupee, in which case he can, he's pretty much set for the rest of the game. I don't know if he's worth going to be picking up for the blue rupee. Nope, not going to be picking it up. That's fine too.
Yeah, he could have maybe slashed a little bit more to the left so he wouldn't have had to walk out of the way. He's probably going to pick up the 5 rupees and so-called pots. Having a little bit of rough cannonballs here. But then he's only still at 7, and that's still a little bit uncomfortable. It means that you need to pick up all 4 of the blue rupees on the first tree pull that we see.
Oh, true.
That we see in the Agate Tower split. The magic number that you want to be after Desert, or after Hera, kind of, is 9, which means you can just pick up 3 blue rupees, which is a lot faster than 4, and then just pick up the 4 reds after. We'll see how Ray manages to get some more rupees lined up in his pocket.
9's a good number to remember, by the way. It's one of those numbers that seem to really, I don't know, like have a lot of connotation to that number.
Yeah, it's great. It's good.
All right, yeah. Also, speaking of, though, other resources, so we are actually at a fairly healthy arrow count as well for both runners. Mainly just because like we would like to get at least 1 arrow drop. I think right before Armos, which both of these guys did. It's not probably the end of the world to not have as many arrows, but coming up for probably one of the best Light World boss fights, of this game, a few extra arrows probably won't hurt in terms of trying to make the fight go a little bit faster.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I didn't pay that much attention to what the drops were from the Stelphos in ZGR, so I'm not sure if they already got the arrow drop. It's very unlikely, but it can happen.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, no, I think Ray at least got his arrows from the Igors.
Yeah, they both have a chance of getting arrows from the mimics and pod. I'm just wondering about the variety pack. But let's focus on the Lamos here.
Yes, exactly. Our Ray starting out looks like unfortunately, oh my gosh, the third Lamos though was very, very kind of was very shy. Did not want to stay in the air whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a good second cycle, but it's a little odd. It's a clean up because they all went into the ground at the same time.
Yeah, it's also kind of hard when all 3 of them are kind of in the air too. You just see actually a little bit of extra lap, but man, the Lamos are not giving Ray a very nice time. Okay. Matt is, I think, he's kind of like steadily, chipping down away against Lamos, but looks like definitely 1 cycle ahead of Ray.
Yeah,
and
suddenly they're one fewer cycle.
Yeah, and suddenly these guys are just all tied up. Also having good arrow count, good enough, I guess, arrow count. Certainly still within the double digits, which is always kind of like what you want to see. I think it's kind of when we start dipping into like the 7 or 8 category. That's when I guess maybe things become a little bit dicier for the future.
Yeah, that was a pretty neat rupee pickup from Ray. Like, kind of gave up like half a second or a second of that, which means that it's probably a little bit slower than picking up the 4th rupee from the tree, but it's a confidence thing. Okay, I don't need to worry about rupees anymore.
Yeah. We actually talk about like kind of speed runs being, I guess like you're doing the same thing basically over and over, right? So maybe in theory you can think about, you're just kind of like defaulting to muscle memory, right? There's actually a very, very like high mental component as well. You know, being able to read the enemy RNG, being able to react. It is not actually just a, you know, I'm just gonna go through another run. Plus you still have the stress of racing somebody, right? It's not just like
sure.
a PB. Yeah, it's not just like a PB attempt where you're just like, oh yeah, like I guess this didn't go through. I guess I can always reset. No. There is no option here.
All right, so Matt, a little bit ahead of right now going into the old man cave. One interesting thing is that Matt is on the boom right now. He got the I guess in apostrophes free menu during land mode. Yeah, some people really like having the boomerang on Death Mountain, being able to boom the death rocks away. It does mean that you have a two move menu going to the mirror in a little bit. But
oh, true. I guess I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because right, I think the only thing that I really did think about was just that you get, as you said, the menu to the boomerang doesn't cost extra time because because the time is kind of spent during the cutscene, for the pendant drop. Matt, oh no.
Oh,
okay,
geez.
all
Yeah,
right.
That was some RNG for sure, but he got through pretty cleanly. Like, this is probably the biggest reason together with Eastern why we grab Sandcard, because just being able to take an extra boulder in the face. The difference between entering Hera with 3 or 4 hearts is such a big difference. Especially because we still have the bomb jump coming up as well, and there isn't that much extra health aside from like taking big time losses.
Right. So like kind of one thing that's kind of like maybe like a general trend or of this game is that if you play this game casually, there are lots of safeties, Light World, right? You can go get bottles, which of course speedrunners don't need. You can go get the bug net, you can go, farm some money, go get potions. There's lots of extra hard pieces, right, that are kind of available for you to grab. So you're probably not too in danger of dying. If you want to, however, go fast, you are kind of on like the bare minimum of health, right? And the game, even if it's in like even early Light World, it does not make your life easy, right? It probably assumes in this case for a casual playthrough, you probably have like at least like one safety with you. That's probably not the case here.
No.
Yeah,
Another
so certainly.
Another small strat difference here is that Matt is just on the lamp and is will have to hit the switch in the next room. Ray here did a boom dash after a couple tries where he manages to throw the boom and dash on the same frame and is able to land on the pegs. So he's already on the other side and is able to just dash throughout the next room.
Oh, that's actually really, it's a very good observation. Very nice. Oh, yeah, he's using, using his mummer bumper to be able to dash down. Almost got hit by the mini Moldorm.
Yeah, and that's probably the reason why most people actually go for the boom dash. Like, as annoying as the strat is, it makes the mini Moldorm room so much safer.
Yeah, and right. So of course boots are great for going fast. They do have an activation cost of half a second or something in order for you to kick up dust, right, and then you can go fast, right? So if you get interrupted though during that time, you basically just wasted that half second, right? So you really don't want to be interrupted. Yeah. So in this.
It's the same with bonks. It's just as bad.
Yeah. With great speed comes great responsibility, or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we did actually see, Oh,
two different
nice early punch up.
Okay, Matt just playing it safe. That's okay. So with those two menus, it's kind of the same time as what Ray took with his bomb jump. It saves like 2 seconds doing the fast early bomb jump.
Yeah, but it looks like maybe did Ray just get some bad enemy RNG or luck? Because, the Katongos fire their fireballs. They're not usually there, but he had to kind of wait out a couple seconds in order to try, because he didn't want to take the hits.
Yeah. And here is probably the hardest fight in the Light World. A lot of runs are lost to this.
Yeah, you work so hard, in like Eastern and Desert to try, tighten up your execution and maneuver, all for coming here, while it was definitely not demonstrated, just kind of the dangers in this case of Moldorm and Hera. But man, this is man, Ray and Matt did a phenomenal job with Moldorm. Holy cow.
For sure. This is a good spot to be in a race. Both runners got through Hera pretty safely. On very solid paces. Okay. got past one of the dead rocks. Okay, both runners got past the dead rocks as well. So now we get to go through the Death Mountain Descent Cave, collect some more rupees, and then get to our Master Sword so we can actually get to the Dark World. And the Dark World is where the run really, really starts. The difficulty ramps up so much.
Yeah, I mean, and it is actually like a significantly more, I guess, like bigger difficulty gap. I guess that as suddenly the game's kind of elevated, right? Because as mentioned before, there are actually a good number of safeties you can get in Light World, right? So with a couple of extra hearts, a safety, a fairy, a bottle, whatever, right? You can actually get through these dungeons pretty easily. Once you kind of get into Dark World, it's not like you get a lot of access to all these like suddenly other like a lot more safeties. You're kind of on the same level even if you play this. If you get like a lot of stuff, but the amount of like difficulty and damage that the enemies do to you really kind of ramps up a lot. So taking like one overworld hit in Light World is what, like half a heart or something, maybe, right? You get a little bit annoyed, right? But it probably doesn't do too much damage to you. But like as soon as we even exit the pyramid, everything does at least 2 hearts, right? You run into one of those snapdragons, there's 3 hearts gone out of what, the 6 that we have. It's not exactly comforting, right? Suddenly half your health is gone. Type of situation.
Yeah, Link in this game is an actual glass cannon. Like, especially after Freestyle, once we grab Tempered Sword, we'll kill everything. We just
at the same
so
time,
much damage.
Exactly. Yeah, is at the same time everything's just gonna kill you as well. All right, so yeah, kind of as we've seen there, I guess I think it was almost kind of like a shame to have two top 125, pretty much 124 runners, right? Kind of go head to head. It's because that like, oh no, wait, right,
what happened?
What did happen? Did he get hit or something, or did he not kill enough things?
He only killed 3 then, because if he got hit, we could lose.
True, yeah. Oh no, I wish I saw which enemy he ended up missing. That is gonna be unfortunate. Oh, missed the pickle shot.
I missed pickle shot and didn't do a backup? Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, twice. Oh, okay. So maybe he was always just planning on doing the backup here and to pull the tree in front of Hyrule Castle?
I guess. It's a little unfortunate, but it's not it's not too bad of a time loss. Like, you'll still be within like, it's like when you're in a race and you can still see like the person in front of you, like just about around the corner. Like, that's kind of what it is now. Like, we're still almost in the same screen, so it's not too bad. But that's painful.
Yeah, he almost got hit when he ended up accidentally bonking on the bushes, like in the room, like in the screen right before going into Hyrule Castle as well. That would have been also kind of scary.
Yeah, that would have been real bad.
But
right now it's like 5-6 seconds. Definitely not the time loss that you want to eat, but in the grand scheme of things in a race, like, it just means that it's an extra blue ball, for example.
Exactly, right. Yeah, and of course, one of the consequences of racing, NMG, the original, 1990s, game, is that, so there's no connection, right, between, like the game that Matt is playing and the game that Ray is playing. Matt can get 1 blue ball, Ray can get 7, Ray can get 2 blue balls, Matt can get 6, type of thing. And so, as you said, it's not something that we can control, and ultimately, if it's like a difference of 1 blue ball, we'll see what happens in Dark World, right?
Yeah, those big blue ball differences never happen in races.
Yeah, no, of course it's not. I wonder who has the record for most number of blue balls. I mean, I guess I still already,
Not sure.
I mean, I remember, I guess I always just remember Chex having something like 11 blue balls one time, where his opponent definitely did not have that many. But I don't know if that record was broken. Not that you really, want to keep that record.
No, for sure. Okay, good circle plots here. Okay, we're getting good RNG here. Okay.
Yeah. Managed to keep sword beams actually throughout for the entirety of Aga Tower, so we're actually going to be able to move pretty fast. Basically, we can use those sword beams in order to speed our rooms up a little bit.
Yeah, Matt's saving a lot of time over the PB in his splits. These like his sub-split PB. So that was a really good climb. And Ray, definitely just managed to keep up as well. Like, 2 very solid towers. Matt had a little bit of a struggle in the Red Spears card. The Red Spears room, but other than that, it looked really good.
Yeah.
But here is where usually runs come to die. Yeah, like Emma said, this fight is like pure RNG. There's a little bit you can do, but with like shooting Aga towards the middle, so he has less like distance to move between shots. But for the most part, it's just pray. You only get energy shots. It's 6 hits to kill him. We just got 1. The first one is guaranteed. The first one of every cycle is guaranteed. But there you have it. One
yep, there's at least one for Matt. Yep.
And
there's one for Ray. Okay.
At least it alternates, right? So we get
that's true. Talk about man. Okay, so it's not like they're warping to the same positions, but we are actually end up getting the same number of blue balls. Is it 3 for both? Or did Matt get an energy ball? Okay, 2 to 3.
Ball, so it's 2 to 3.
So I get it in theory, like you also don't want to take damage for Aga, like as well. Like you want to get close where there's not a lot of distance between the ball you're reflecting and to Aga, but you also don't want to take damage because you also have to wait there for refills, right? At the top of Castle Tower.
Yeah, Ray's got 5. Okay, so Matt's getting 3, and Ray already has 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I have okay. 4 Ray.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's mostly on the farm pit that it matters because Aga will always go back into the shade form after a set number of frames.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That does make sense. Yeah. Speaking of Aga, though, he hasn't let up for Ray since the beginning of this fight.
Okay, 7 it is. So that's going to be a 30-second difference between the 2 runners.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
It is certainly a deficit. It is still more than overcomable for Ray. As you mentioned, the run basically starts in Dark World. I mean, not that Light World was a complete waste of our time either, but yeah, it's Dark World is certainly probably the greater half of content for this game, but also ramps in difficulty, and. It certainly requires it's certainly a lot more room for variance in terms of execution.
Yeah, for sure, and especially here, like time losses because of like deaths and mistakes start to ramp up as well. Yeah, deaths usually cost like at least 2 minutes because the dungeons are so much bigger to actually get back to the boss.
Right, yeah. One of the biggest reasons why we still pick up Sankar, in addition to all the kind of other reasons for just being safe in the light world, we are coming up on Helmasaur. That as mentioned before. Pretty much every single enemy now does at least 2 hearts of damage. Helmasaur himself does 2 hearts per hit. Having that 7th heart, assuming you can go into the fight with full health, basically gives you that extra buffer to be able to take 1 more hit. Versus if you were on only 6, you can only take 2 hits from Helmasaur. And based on his patterns of movement, it can certainly be very, very dicey. You can certainly just kind of get like a 1-2 combo that you can't get out of, and then suddenly, you get to know firsthand just how long it takes to get back to Helmasaur.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice feeling.
Alright, though. But luckily, one of the nice things that we have, that we did get from the Light World, and probably one of the NPCs that give you the most number of text boxes, second to Sahasrara, is how did the sword beam miss the Bari? Did you see that?
Yeah, there is something janky about the Bari when he's so close to the pit.
I have no idea.
That's usually why we slash to the right instead of up when dealing with the Bari. But yeah, that's unfortunate. There is no chance that the mini Helma at Hammer Jump will drop a heart, which means that he doesn't have to waste time getting an extra 1. But so far, taking a hit here is usually just a small time loss and not something very, very bad.
Yeah. We're talking about. I don't know if Ray was watching, but he definitely gave the old right 1-2 slash just in case something went wrong.
Yep, that's how you deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah, but as you said, just because we did get, so if Mini Helma, is a good Mini Helma, actually our friend for once, we don't, we can save a little bit of extra time, but it's kind of just like we're picking up a pot and kind of going over to to the left side of the screen versus pretty like a minute time loss or something like that where you had to kind of redo things. You certainly, you certainly want, not only of course for health going into Helma's Sword just because you have the extra safety. We would also, like to take advantage of the fact that we have a Master Sword and Sword Beams. They're only active if you have full health, and well, we had also seen that, switches, nice chest turn, Matt, can be hit from afar. In addition to the Baris, so we would certainly like to be able to do that in the basement rooms of Pod.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, we had a solid hammer from that side. Let's see what Ray does here. That will be on his way to the plant statue. Oh, good first lineup. And good second lineup, very nice.
Yeah, that was very,
hammer.
very, very well done. So Hammer was a really good sequence break. It saves you like 45 seconds or something like that, or maybe kind of around that ballpark of time versus kind of doing things the vanilla way. And you can always kind of like menu buffer your way through to make sure you're on the right lineups, but every menu buffer, is like a second or something like that. So you kind of want to try and limit, and just line it up the first time. Ray, no.
That was a little bit greedy. I understand why you went for it, but yeah, it means that he has to pick up an extra heart from the pot here, which is also like a second time loss. Yeah, unfortunate, but like again, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a minor time loss. But the problem is that he's the one who needs to catch up. So like, if he starts trading like every little time loss with Matt, that's
it's
not in his benefit.
We did get a nice arrow drop from the mimics. That's a consolation prize at least.
Yeah, that's really good. That means that he's able to skip a pot later on. It's about like half a second, depending on which pot you pick up. So that's very nice. Alright, so Big Bad Helmet coming up on Matt's side here. Just needs to get through these turtles. He was on the key dash pixel, cancelled sadly. Okay. Interesting that Matt goes for the instant spin speed, probably just a comfort thing, because it's maybe a little awkward for him to do a couple of hammers and then set up for the spin speed.
Did it actually matter as well? The helmet was pretty close to him, I guess. I don't know if he had room. Oh my gosh, Matt.
Okay, yeah, well, that was we're good.
Oh, yeah, the hit when the fireballs were still active, man. This is maybe one of the benefits, right, of picking up Sankheart. Matt knew he could take one more hit without dying. Why not just go for it instead of basically waiting it out? Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, especially when hammer goes down, you usually want to do 3 hammer hits and then boot up the spin speed. But yeah, like how he did it is completely fine as well. Like it's just safe, and in the end, that's what matters. Okay.
Ray! Oh my gosh! All right, okay. He's doing a very good thing. He is pause buffering to basically kind of. Oh my god!
Oh no! Yeah.
That was so close. Oh. Yeah, but like pause buffering, basically try and buy yourself a little bit of extra time in order to kind of stabilize things. Basically giving yourself a little bit more position to move is a very, very useful and probably necessary strategy. Just in this case, that the tail was too wide ranging.
Yeah, that was a pattern that you really couldn't get out of. That was really rough. I'm not sure if you can frame wall, but I'm not sure if it actually saves time at that point anymore either.
Yeah, I guess like luckily though, it looks like we are kind of like still, so the fact that we do have I guess like full 7 hearts, and then I guess we kind of start with what half-ish health. We still have all the hearts necessary from the pots in order to get full health back. So we can still, in this case, don't have to waste any more arrows. We can hit the switch still with our sword beams, and thanks to that the arrow drop he got from mimics earlier, it looks like he is actually basically still on track in terms of ammunition.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame that you didn't get another drop from the mimics, but as long as you have at least 1 arrow coming out, you're still on you're able to get to a comfy level.
All right, so it looks like they'll. I was gonna say. So Matt's kind of like made his way through at least like the pot overworld out into Village Valcast. Going to go and activate his flute soon. I'm gonna try and get this quick warp by mirroring at the right location. Looks like we did. Save yourselves a free 34 frames just in order to get back to the light world.
Okay, this is looking like of course, like the refight.
Yeah, the second one's always somehow it always feels easier, or maybe it is actually easier, or maybe it's just a psychological thing. But yeah, very nice that Ray's gonna be able to get through.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's gonna be a tough struggle to get back, but he's not out of the race yet. Anything can still happen.
Oh yeah, I mean, Helmasaur is only the first of 7 Dark World bosses that you could very easily die from. Not to mention, of course, there is all of GT and Ganon. Perils lie ahead for both Matt and Ray. Although speaking of, though, not only of course bosses, so we did see Matt also doing a spin speed, I guess like going off of the library towards Kakariko Village. It is not just for we can go fast, it is actually to go and try and avoid that red guard who also does a full heart of damage to you in the post-Acolyte worlds. That guy is, I don't know if he's faster per se than you are, but he is definitely on par with you if you don't have, he's definitely faster than you without boots. He's probably on par with you even if you have super speed. So
yeah, especially in diagonal movements, it's really hard to catch up with them.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure. So do you have an overworld that you think is probably like the quote unquote like most dangerous? I'm kind of watching like Ray, Matt earlier kind of dash through these like ropas and all these other, like you can get lotteried so easily, right? They can just basically hit you, frame roll you for 2 hearts, for no good reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Like every overworld has its quirks and dangerous parts. I think the one that would like influence the rest of the split like most often is either Misery Mire or like any Death Mountain split, or
true.
Or the Ice Palace one. Like Ice Palace, if you do get lotteried, you kind of have to adjust on the fly very much. Good reminders or good previews. Ominous clouds for both Ray and Matt, because you're mentioning all these in all these dangers on the horizon. That's a very good point. I'm not trying to jinx people here.
No. No. I mean, it's something to be cautious of in the future, right? Prepare for the worst, but in this case, hopefully expecting for the best.
Yeah, I don't know if either runner. I mean, we saw Ray chatting a little bit. I don't know if Matt is like actively watching or listening along. So I don't know like how much he's adjusting his race strategy right now, depending on like if he knows what the state of the race is. It could be that in the future it just takes a few screens a little bit slower or safer just to avoid bad RNG.
Yeah, very cool. It could be. So I think in past leagues, Matt doesn't like. I don't think he actively watches his opponents, but he every once in a while just kind of glances over to see kind of where they at, right? He may. Thanks, Cricket. Thanks, Bomb. It's also probably this is one of those situations where maybe you glance over because you're like, oh, where's my opponent, and you feel it's like, okay, I don't have to worry probably as much as I'm going through the rest of East Town. Just make sure you don't die. That's probably the biggest part.
Mm-hmm. But of course, like you said before, like sometimes changing your approach from what you usually do also causes you to make more mistakes. So it's kind of a double-edged sword at times.
True. Okay. Yeah, Matt is really getting bullied here at East Town, though. He did get the God Pixel at least, in the hallway. That's at least something. Saves you a couple extra seconds. But all of his other enemies, though, are definitely not cooperating with him.
Yeah, he had a good approach in that screen by slashing the big jelly. Not sure what they're called anymore. Like we used to call them just Patrick Stars because
Beeries, I think, right? I think. Chex told me at some point a while back, and I told myself I would remember, and then I didn't. I think they're called Beeries.
Okay. Either way, sometimes there are a couple patterns where you can slash them and then walk through them during their iframes, and he tried to do that, and sadly this time it was just like a little bit off timing.
It's actually a really good strat in general because the enemy iframes, while they do in this case prevent you from basically just like mauling them instantly, it does actually give you an opportunity to kind of also bypass it, right? So it's not something quite like the pacifist version, but it's certainly it's a much more diplomatic version of being able to get through. Everybody wins, right? The enemy gets to live and you get to move on.
Yeah, just a little stab. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a warning shot.
Exactly.
Alright, Ray and Matt, we're only a screen apart there for a little bit.
True.
A nice gold blind on Matt's side.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was actually very good. Like, it was a very good fight on his side. Certainly remember when he first started grinding his NMG journey from 125 to 124. The blind fight, while everyone says it's a scripted fight, see it so much NMG, rando, whatnot, and that was actually one of the fights that he really kind of had to like unlearn and kind of relearn, because I guess he said something about the 8th hit always giving him so much trouble and making it inconsistent. So always really, so to be able to kind of see his, his progress, basically just stand in his being this consistent is really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, very solid piece so far on Ray's side, like at least the dungeon. Had to do a little bit of redash in the hallway, but other than that, I think it's very clean.
Yeah, no, I mean, and one of these things, as you mentioned, and we kind of saw this already, in chat a little bit, remarking, about some of his bar experiences in Pod. He probably is also, a bit probably more aware of the state of the match, and it's even more important for Ray to kind of like play his game. He kind of obviously maybe he wants to take a bit more riskier strats, right, in terms of making up a little bit of time, but he certainly doesn't want to really be in a position where he just kind of keeps up giving up time, right? So definitely. Don't ever count yourself out.
Yeah, it's so hard in this situation of a race where you feel like you need to catch up and try harder, but because of that you do things in a way that you usually wouldn't. Like you try to be tighter with certain dashes or something, and then it just causes you to bonk because you try to cut off a dash.
Yeah. Oh, nice conveyor room though. Ray basically also got to take his revenge by just dashing through all the bars without being electrocuted.
Yeah, magic.
Yeah. So you mentioned a glass cannon before, Ari. So we just picked up tempered. Well, we're going to pick up tempered sword on Matt's side very shortly.
Yeah, right now we're just glass for like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Actual fragile. Man, imagine if the chickens actually, could hurt you, as you hurt the chickens. It'd be kind of dangerous, suddenly.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine. Alright, so last spin speed of the game for Matt, because I think he does all his errands during Mire.
Correct, he is. He is a very strong proponent of doing as few spin speeds as he can possibly manage in this run. He did get the fence dash as well, so already boding, quite well for Matt's endgame.
Run is still alive, as you would say.
Yes, and we're gonna go ahead into Skullwoods. While Skullwoods has, I would say, a bit of notoriety, among many different Link to the Past communities, vanilla and rando, there is a room upcoming where, Matt is gonna go get the big chest, or the big key, out of the front of the back of Skullwoods. In this room, it is dubbed, at least for Matt, the easiest room in the game. Somehow he is a Gypto Whisperer. I don't know how he does it, but suddenly these guys just kind of move out of the way, and then here we are, right? Doesn't he make the room look easy?
I love Matt, but I can't believe he always manages to do this.
I see. It is his consistency for how to be able to do this room is extremely high. Still waiting on the emote, but it's it is not the easiest thing to make.
It's in the works.
Right. Yes, that's true. Yep. Although hearing up, so looks like Matt is probably gonna do just like a normal looks like setup. No early bomb jump from Skullwoods.
Yeah, this one is a lot less reliable than the one in Hera. Like fewer visual cues, no menu buffer, and all that. So just doing a normal bomb jump here makes a lot of sense. But yeah, solid Skullwoods so far.
Yeah, and I think we ended up taking a little bit more. So I think he may not have wanted to take the damage from the spike, or the Gypto for that matter. I guess his whispering only works, when he only goes to the right versus the left. But I don't know, that Gypto moved really close.
You're definitely not supposed to get hit.
Yeah. But it's okay, we're okay. So I mean, the whole point of taking intentional damage or unintentional damage is that we don't have to have sword beams for coming up for Mothula. I'm sure Matt will be just fine. I'm sure Matt will be just fine. It's okay. We only need one heart to live. That's what we learned. He said glass cannon, right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Health is a resource. It's true in a lot of games, and Link to the Past is no different. Like a death in the back of Skullwitz is like annoying because of magic reasons, but time-wise, it is actually not that bad. So if he does actually die to Moth here, it's not the worst thing in the world, like for the status of the race, but it would narrow the gap pretty significantly.
That's true. Yeah, and as you said, right, you have to go pick up magic again, but the distance or time it takes to get to Mothula is, quite shorter than the distance it takes in order to get down to Helma. But Matt, we did manage to defeat Mothula by taking no damage. So clearly, it was the dungeon itself that was the most dangerous part for Matt, at least, versus the boss. It doesn't usually happen that way.
No worries whatsoever.
No, none. Yeah, but unfortunately, it looks like speaking a bit more, I guess calamities. I guess in the back of Skullwitz, looks like Matt actually also was not able to kind of knock the Gypto into the spike itself. So I had to kind of chase the Gypto route a little bit in order to get the key.
Yeah, and the Gyptos are tanky. That's exactly why we slash them into the spike, because that does gold sword damage, which means you only need to hit them twice compared to the 4 tempered swords slashes.
Right. Yeah, and the problem also with kind of slashing with temper sword, as you said, right? So they're able to take 4 hits, but then there's the knockback from the sword. So you're knocking it further away from you, and it's especially if you knock the the room down has a lot of room, right, to kind of for the Gypto to go, and so then you also kind of chase it down too, right? So it's just kind of all the incremental stuff that just adds on, which it's just you're just kind of bleeding time at that point.
Yeah. But alright, yeah, this is, I think, one of the harder overworlds in the game. Ice Palace, definitely a lot of small things that can lose you time. There's a couple of quick warps, getting quick warp right under the gate is pretty tough. There are a couple screens that can just have bad RNG and cause you to get frame rule or lottoed, as we call it. At least he doesn't get cleared here. That's
so
good.
far. Yep, so far so good. So yeah, the rock is definitely for the Ropa.
Oh, look, he's playing it right here, the Louis dash right there.
Yeah, and this also might be one of those, as you mentioned again, sit of the match type of things, right? Where you're willing to play things just a tiny bit slower, but in this case, you do not risk your full health status, right? You don't have to necessarily worry about losing sword beams, or at least not worry as much.
Yeah, you absolutely want to have beams in this split.
Yeah, nice quick fish on Matt's side. It is actually a hit box. Boxes have corners, unlike the circle that you see. So being able to kind of precisely throw in. Oh my gosh, Ray! That is arguably one of the best fights we've seen. Probably, honestly, I don't even want to qualify in this tournament, but a 10 out of 10 fight is tremendous.
Yeah, and not only that, but he was able to pick up the heart immediately instead of having to wait for it to go above the spike and then back down. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, I'm not sure if Matt menus to the mirror during the moth fight or not. Yeah, he had a little bit of a time loss here coming into Zora, but again, probably playing it a little bit safe, making sure he doesn't take any damage going into Ice Palace, because there are multiple rooms in Ice Palace where you really want to have beams. It's always a little bit interesting in this game, because there are situations where you really do not want to have beams, because beams do very little damage compared to your sword. But then there are also just a couple of sections where you really do not want to get hit, just so you're able to do things on range and without a chance of getting hit.
Yeah, right here, right, you actually see that, so Matt definitely was not out of the water woods, I guess, so to speak, in terms of being able to take damage. We in this case, saw him, kind of use his beams or slash against the crab, burn the Zora, right, just, basically, no extra chances for anything to kind of hit him before being able to keep his beams here.
Yeah, this is exactly one of the screens why. Nice bomb drop as well, make sure that he doesn't have to pick up any more throughout until Ganon's Tower.
Yeah.
But we like to not assume that.
yeah, that is true. Yeah. Speaking of though, so on Ray's side, looks like he actually did go for the more aggressive dash. Did not get lottery in this particular case, but does. He is kind of gaining back a little bit of extra time here and there, which is really good to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he had a really good Skullwitz as well. Yeah. Alright, and...
Is that bomb gonna hit?
No. Yeah.
Oh
Apparently.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, that one isn't though. So he's going to have to hit the switch before IPPJ coming up.
Okay.
But that shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, we also do have sword beams for the conveyor room, which you always want to be able to keep. Yeah, nice
that's
job.
the important part. Okay, hit switch here. Yeah, especially with the beams as well. It means you don't have to walk all the way up to the switch either, which is very nice.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So this is good. Good setup now. Yeah. Looked a little bit sketchy for a second, but managed to recover very well. Yeah, just place the take here.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a rough room, but again, just knowing how to recover and how to just eat the time loss and make sure you don't rush things is very important.
Yeah, and I guess like the timing of the fire bar must have just been different, just because he didn't get it the first try, right? He had kind of like
exactly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, I think he tried to mix up two strats right there.
He's on what, 7 hearts at this point? I guess it doesn't matter if he kind of ended up taking a bit of extra. So we are going to come down to Cold Stare. Cold Stare puffs to 4 hearts of damage. The falling icicles, I guess, only do 2, but I guess like the difference between having 7 hearts versus 8 hearts, at least facing Cold Stare itself, isn't going to be any different, right? No. You're still going to only have 1 hit's worth of buffer.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully, if we stay quote unquote on script, we're not gonna have to take any damage. It's just when the fight kind of goes sideways or all over the place, that's when you really kind of start to sweat.
Yeah, even just the fight going a little bit off is already a big time loss. So let's hope this goes well. Ray needs some more magic. Very nice fight. Yeah,
that was a very textbook, textbook poke slashes there on Matt's side. But yeah, as you said, so it looks like Ray, he tried to hit the barrier or something, and then was not successful. So he hit another fire rod shot. So yes, as you mentioned, I think we're gonna be maybe a little bit more tighter here on magic on Ray's side.
Yeah, there is a pot after the Ice Palace Bomb Jump that he can pick up. It's a little bit out of the way, but at least it's a guaranteed magic drop. Then he can grab both the pots before Cold Stare. So that would work. Otherwise, he might want to... Oh, he got really get hit by. He walked into
the bomb?
Oh, he walked into the bomb. Okay.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, because now he has to... Okay, this also works. It's a bit laggy, but it's probably better than any other pot. Okay, this is fine. It's not a big time loss. As far as not having beams goes, that was probably the best situation to be in.
Alright, nice Ice Palace Bomb Jump on Ray's side. And yeah, this is definitely the more, I guess, like more classic version of how the game, or how the room is done. It's because if you can get it the first time, things look very smooth. But I mean, as you mentioned before, Matt recovered, as best as he can, basically, for not getting it the first time. Yep, and as you mentioned also before, we have stopped doing the spin speed out of the Smith House was the absolute last one for Matt. He is puff lining it for Argus and Swamp Palace, because we are gonna go get our hook shot, and so no more spin speeds, only hook speeds from here on out.
Only hook speeds, that's what I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking at race splits, he will probably go for Ether during Swamp, which is a very reasonable option. Make sure that if you do get hit on Death Mountain, not having beams in Swamp is a lot less bad than not having beams in Mire.
Yeah.
For consistency's sake, that's probably the smarter option, especially if you're not very comfortable with dealing with certain things on Death Mountain.
Yeah, and of course, right, and not having, in this case, like full health going into Swamp Palace, kind of like what Matt's here is doing. While I think Sword Beams probably do help out. Oh, Ray! No, Ray! Oh, looks like we did not. Oh my gosh, Ray! Holy. Everything's fine.
I'm clenching.
Everything's fine.
Okay, if there's only 1 puff left, then we should be okay. Okay, we're good.
Easy.
Man, that's such a shame too, because it was looking to be a really, really good ice on Ray's side. But I mean, at least that means that he had some time to invest. But it's fine. Like, not dying is the important part here.
Correct. Very correct. I don't know where... So I guess Ray's last extra heart, he didn't either take damage after he picked up, like, the pot heart from the Stalfos room, but there is... like, we talk about the value of Sankheart being very strong, in the light world, I guess, also in early dark world with Helma. Like, here is another great example of why you want to pick up Sankheart. He would not have survived this fight otherwise. Yeah.
Shout out to Sankard.
Oh my gosh, dude. This is why you want to go. You know what I mean? 8.5 guards going in. That half heart, quarter heart, whatever, right? It makes all the difference.
Alright, so we're gonna see a little bit of a route divergence here. Ray's gonna go straight up to Death Mountain, pick up Ether. Well, meanwhile, Matt is kind of trudging towards, or rather through, what is considered to be the most boring dungeon in the game, Small Palace.
Amazingly, Matt has not taken any damage. I mean, we're kind of seeing like it was the contrast, right? You know, we were in Ice Palace, and yeah, certainly early on Matt's side, but also on Ray's side, right, where everything in this case, you know, hits for what, like 4 hearts, or at least, you know, minimum 2 hearts. Versus here in Swamp Palace, I mean, you kind of look at, you know, well, it is the second chronological dungeon of the game. I mean, what? Most enemies here do half a heart, 1 heart. Coming in here with 11 hearts total, right? You barely feel anything. You just feel more annoyed, right? That
yes.
Oh man,
Sure.
I have to start my dash again. I have to readjust my movement again. It's like, man, different set of issues.
Yeah, it's definitely just a very annoying dungeon to get through, and there's a lot of like little RNGs that sometimes you cannot really influence your decisions by. But yeah, especially having Tempered Sword here is very nice, because the boss with Master Sword is a whole different beast compared to the Tempered Sword.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because we are able to kill. I mean, if you ever especially play this game casually, right? You probably didn't know like the zero cycle, you know, hook dash pull Argus kill. Man probably didn't even come here with Master or with Tempered Sword for that matter, right? But based on like probably personal experience, you hook one of those puffs and you slash with the Master Sword. It takes 2 hits. With Tempered, very nice because it's twice the amount of damage. You only need 1, so that means as you said, that is an order of magnitude difference, right? In terms of just time, saved on the boss with Tempered Sword versus Master.
Yeah, even if you just go for the hook and slash threat, like being able to do that with Tempered compared to Master Sword is so much more comfortable. Also in a casual playthrough, of course, most people when playing casually did not play on the 1.0 Japanese version.
Good point.
Where you can go for like fast for quick kills with hook dashes and all that.
Oh yeah, that's true because it's item dashing, right? Yeah, that is exclusive to this version. That's actually a very good point.
The first one of which we just saw on Matt's side, by the way, like hook dashing towards the pot so you can have quicker movement, pushing the statue onto the switch and picking up the pot first try. That's all combined with that hook dash towards the pot. It's such a nifty little thing right there.
It is. It is also one of those things where I think even if you're just watching you're just watching a speed run, you watch them do it's like, oh, okay, like let me go do that, and then someone I think has to tell you that it is actually an item like a hook dash versus you try it normally and it doesn't work, and then you just kind of sit there wondering like, why doesn't this work for me?
Why am I not picking up the pot?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna see Zero Circle attempt on Matt's side here. It's a little.
Oh no! Right.
Oh no! You need a
key. Oh no!
Okay, Matt missed the hook dash here, so he's gonna have to retry.
Okay.
Probably means he's not gonna. Oh no, he's not gonna.
Oh, it was a very great attempt though. He got a lot of puffs in for the first cycle. Oh, unfortunately, it didn't look like we got all of our fire rod shots in. But it's alright.
Yeah. Okay, we got the double recovery.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, alright. So a little bit of a rough swamp on that side, but does manage to just get through without too many incidents. But yeah, of course Ray failing to pick up the key first time round. Also had to do a couple of back and forths here.
Yeah, but also as kind of like alluded to, with Swamp, you just get trudging through, is actually a very apt descriptor. We do have in this case, so we have both shallow and deep water. Swimming, as we've seen, on multiple occasions, is a very difficult to control mechanic. Especially in this case, you want to move fast. But we're also seeing, the shallow water, it's like anti-boots, right? You literally have to trudge through this. It's what, like -1 pixels worth of speed?
Yep.
This movements. So yeah, like everything about this dungeon just makes you want to go. Well, doesn't make you want to go, but it forces you in this case to actually have to slow down.
Yeah, it kind of influences your muscle memory as well. Sometimes you cut off dashes a little bit sooner because you expect to just go fasting. Alright, so the interest part coming up here from Matt, Death Mountain. You really want to have beams for Meyer as well. So, looks like he's going for the first part okay, just hopes to have no boulder. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but you know, and you know, because he got hit, no more spin speed, just a hook, and then you know we're on our way.
Yeah, there's a couple spots where you can try to go for a recovery heart. We'll see if he manages to get a drop from a crab near Ice Rock Cave or something.
Yeah, that's also true, right? So sometimes you dash along these bushes. Sometimes it'll be nice and kind of drop you a heart. Looks like that was also not the case today. But yeah, like as you said, we don't necessarily have to go into Mire with kind of like no chances of recovery, but it's not like the chances of recovery are super like promising.
Yeah, it's very not guaranteed. And,
yes.
and again, like not having beams for Mire too, the second room of Mire, it's not like the biggest disaster, but it just opens you up to getting screwed over by RNG a lot more.
Yeah, and we talk about
okay,
no, Matt. Oh, that was
being down 3 hearts is a lot less comfortable than being down 1 heart. So.
Yeah. He got. It's like, you ever play that chicken game in Link Between Worlds, right? Where it's like, where all the cuckoos are like, you're in this enclosure and they're just all going at you at the same time. That's exactly what happened with Matt and those crabs. Like, he could just not get out of it, and the fact that he was holding a bomb means he couldn't slash anything, right? So yeah, he just had to unfortunately get hits.
Yeah. So. Chance that maybe Ray looks happy. Okay, Ray gets the first cycle, very nice.
Yeah, not even the empty cycle. Just made it just on time. So nice job, Ray. What a nice Argus fight. 2 spins done.
Very nice. So in the second room of Mire format, there are a couple of opportunities for him to maybe get a few hearts, if he wants to go out of his way to grab them. And he probably wants to, because there is a couple of points here where we take intentional damage. Because usually you lose 3 hearts going into to get a key from the spike room, and you take a lot of damage from Vitreous because of intentional damage boost. Yeah, he's going to pick up these. Okay, so now he's very much back into safe range. This is like the hard count you would have on in a normal run because of Sank Heart.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I was even and certainly I think during Matt's like PB attempts and probably what he's also I feel he's very comfortable without saying card, especially in this late in the game. So
yeah. So this should be a comfortable point for him to be at. There's a room like the next room he's in. You would like to have beams to kill the Bari with and to make sure he gets blasted straight to the left instead of like left down. But that's like a minor thing. Like from here on out, it's just pretty similar to a normal run again.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Does he have enough fire rod? Does he have one more fire rod shot potentially?
Yeah,
he does. So, perfect.
Nice.
That's exactly what I wanted to see. Yep. But as you were talking about it's going into the dungeon with down 3 hearts or maybe 2 depending if you picked up Sank Heart or not. So not necessarily, of course, we only want we want full health so we can have beams for Mire too. As you mentioned multiple occasions, we want to be able to sacrifice health. Like, health is very much probably the primary resource of this dungeon. Spike room, right? We're gonna go get a key, takes 3 hearts. We want to be able to damage boost during Vitreous's fight, which of course we want 7 hearts ideally, to be able to do that. There's also Spark Gamble, which we want to be able to sacrifice a heart to damage boost. Like, there are lots of opportunities where we're going to be able to use this resource, right? So anytime you can actually keep it or have it or replenish it is certainly very nice in this dungeon.
Yeah, the minimal heart count you would want to be at going into Vitreous is 5, but that leaves you again with no room for error, and especially in a race setting, a little uncomfortable. Okay, here, no fear. It does it saves quite a bit of time over going 1 lane higher to avoid the spark.
Yeah, but especially I guess for Matt's situation, health situation, he was probably more than willing to sacrifice it, right? Because you also get a heart right before we go down to the basement from the pot.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah, so I'll probably be at 8 going into the basement, and at that point you should be more than fine.
Yeah, and especially, you know, like as you mentioned in a race setting, it's not necessarily just the fact that, you know, like maybe something goes wrong or, you know, you okay, number one, don't die, right? But it's also just I'm in a race setting, I want to be ahead, and then suddenly it's like a completely different mentality that you're playing, right? Versus you're just kind of doing a run by yourself.
Yeah.
Suddenly stakes that may or may not mean actually anything, they absolutely mean something now, for better or for worse.
Yeah, it's really crazy how your brain just kind of tricks you into making mistakes
Yeah.
because of either nerves or putting some importance into the run, even though in essence it's the same as any other. But it also isn't. So yeah.
Yeah. It looks like also Matt was able to get Spooky very, very nicely done. Actually, be able to preserve. You know, I think he kicked up some dust when he was placing down the Samaria block. Basically, then now all of the anti-fairies basically act like the switches that were. Well, those are the effective on-screen switches that we had seen. So basically, it'll save ourselves a bit of time instead of having to bomb open the extra floor in order to hit the switch. Nice Vitreous fight though here on Matt's side.
Yeah. Okay, so sadly he's down an arrow now. He really wanted to be on 8, so now he has to kind of adjust what he does in GT to pick up some more arrows. But
is there? Yeah. Well, so I know there's one pot with arrows in Turtle Rock, right before we enter those pipes.
Yeah.
Is that not going to be enough then for him?
No, because that plus the 5 before Ice Armos puts him at 17.
Right. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
So either he picks up the pots on the top of that room, like the bomb floor, or he picks up the chest. I'm not sure how comfortable he is with those strats, but like
yeah.
Like there are fine backups. Oh, Brady needs to be a bit careful.
Oh yeah. I think maybe he like missed the dust kick up before, and then maybe I don't know, something maybe must have happened. I think he didn't want to risk losing his Spooky.
Okay, but he did get it here, so that's nice.
Yeah, of course, you know, right. Yeah, I was gonna say one of the indicators you can kind of tell if someone actually, you know, did able to hit the switch. Everyone's gonna hit the switch. There's always like the little like pause right on the screen, so you kind of in this case see that Ray was in fact being able to kind of he ended up keeping Spooky wild. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. These dead rocks can't even use Matt's you know, Waffle House emote.
Oh, he's getting a little bit bullied. Okay. We might just play it safe and pick up the ferry from the bunk rocks.
Oh right, that is a thing that exists. Yeah, that is a thing that exists up here.
All right. Considering everything, solid cleanup from Ray. Managed to get his way through. Yeah, right here. Okay.
Oh, nice. We even got some cooperation from the ferry. It's definitely has been many a case where you bonk open the rock, the ferry just kind of flies and then just kind of flies away, even though you know you really try and get close to it.
Oh yeah. All right, let's see if it's free.
Maybe.
It's so free.
Super free, man. Ari, what have you been teaching him? How to get the free quick warp into the rock. Absolutely.
It looked a little sketchy, but we managed to make our way into the warp. Okay. So, Turtle Rock is kind of a weird dungeon. There is a lot of like auto-scrolling in a sense that you're just waiting on platforms and going through pipes. But there's also a lot of difficult stuff and difficult RNGs to work around. So, in a way, it's kind of an easy dungeon if everything goes well. But if stuff goes off the rails are out of sight real fast.
That's actually very true. Even now, when we're going on these conveyor belts, there are no guardrails like at all for anything to happen.
Okay, he managed to hook towards the torch, so like he's already saving time over me here.
Although speaking of, so the good news is that Matt has a ferry coming in theory from the Pokies. I think he was able to preserve the price fest as with Ray in Aga Tower. We saw nothing. We didn't see a ferry come up on the mini Helmas as well in Pod. So the next drop here, because of all the planning that Matt and Ray did, should in theory be a ferry coming out of these Pokies.
Or nothing.
or nothing. We've lost like what 3 50-50s in order to try and get an item. But okay. Oh my gosh.
All right, Matt. Okay, so magic-wise, he's in a little bit of a sketchy spot now. So maybe he has to pick up some safety magic in Pokies too. Yeah. So usually the magic number of health to have lost is 7 because a fairy recovers you 7 hearts. And yeah, even if you don't get any health or magic, if everything goes right, you're still fine. If not, then things can get a little sketchy throughout the dungeon.
Yeah, so I guess you want to be able to keep either like beams or the last pip of magic for like the switch room right before Turtle Rock, right? Ideally.
Well, you need it for the dark maze mostly. Okay.
Oh,
so,
right. Okay, all right. Matt now suddenly looks a ton healthier.
Yeah, so sadly no beams. There is one room coming up that you would like beams for, but at least having the full magic also is a very, very nice benefit here. And at least he's very unlikely to die at this point.
Unlikely being very, like, operative words. Yeah,
I like not to make definitive statements.
Yes, no, I mean, we all wish the very best for both Matt and Ray. But as you kind of alluded to before, right? So this dungeon is very tricky. It's also very deceptively, like you're lured into a very high sense of, I think, false security, because we're actually looking at these health counts, right? Too, right? 13 hearts, 12.5 on Matt's side, 10 on Ray's side. That's a lot of health, right? I mean, because, well, we've beaten most of the bosses by this point. But then once everything does, like 3 to 4 hearts of damage for everything, like Chomps did 4, right? These rollers do 3. You don't have a lot of room you don't have a lot of buffer right before you suddenly just kind of like you're on 1-hit KO with like 3 or 4 hearts left to go, and then you have to go beat the dungeon over again.
Yeah, it's like we're back in Eastern.
yeah, that's true. Just on a smaller scale, or sorry, larger scale.
Okay, now. So Ray is on the fairy drop now, going into Poke 1. So, like, there's a chance that he still get beams. Okay, these Chomps. Oh no!
Oh my! Oh.
Okay, that was
okay, that was the last try to squeeze through those Chomps. That was a bit more, as you said, greedy. Oh man! Everything else, I don't know how he didn't get hit by all the other Chomps.
Yeah, the Chomp was like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gonna eat your ass.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So Matt's gonna come in here with, I mean, pretty decent loadout, right? We got pretty much almost all full health. Not that we need beams or anything. We just maybe need a little bit of buffer for try just in case, again, if things go sideways. But of course, assuming it looks like Matt's gonna go for the backdoor strats, fairly consistent and safe once you kind of practice it a bit. So hopefully in this case nothing will kind of go wrong.
Yeah, this looks like a solid fight. Very nice.
The most important thing is to make sure that the ice rod works. Somehow, It doesn't have a very high success rate of all things.
Yeah, the hitbox when you fire it is a little bit awkward at times. But yeah, managed to make our way through the 7th crystal. So there's only Gans Tower and the Big Pig left.
Yeah. No, certainly, probably outside of. So I think for Matt, Skull Woods maybe a bit dicey. I think maybe Ice Palace was also, but I think otherwise very solid Dark Roll for Matt so far.
Yeah, I showed there were maybe a few race nerfs going on at some points. And he played a little bit safe at times, probably because of the circumstance of the race. But yeah, he's been playing more than solidly.
Oh no!
Didn't walk far enough. Okay, well, it's still fine. He's still in a healthy zone now.
Yeah, but unfortunately, just, I mean, like, you can talk about having, like, sword beams for one, like, being able to save time, but also having to wait out the roller is also just very awkward. Yeah,
sometimes you need to walk a little bit further to the right to place the Samaria blocks, because otherwise you start pushing them when you want to get between the block and the other block.
Yeah. Otherwise, like the roller's timing is gonna be weird, and then you have to kind of like wait, a bunch, and then you also still have to go hit the other switches, right? In the middle, so you can get through the room. Yeah, it suddenly becomes kind of like a giant mess. Oh, nice. Looks like fast beetle skip on. Oh no! Oh, you know, it was very, very close.
Yeah, that was awkward RNG.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried though here about Ray's health. So he's not like in, I guess, official one-hit KO mode, but even having 3.5 hearts going into Trinex, Trinex's heads do 4 hearts, like the body only does 1, and it's I'm sure Ray will be fine.
Sure.
We have confidence in him. That's right.
It's just like any other run.
Yeah, exactly. Just do the backdoor strat, just do what you're used to, and then you just won't get hit.
Okay, nice patience. Waiting for the head to come back. And we should be good here. Excellent.
Yeah, looks good.
And Trinex is so high as well, so that gives you plenty of time to wait out the last phase, like as a double spin. So it should be good here.
Okay, sounds good.
Sometimes when Trinex is low, it's a little bit awkward to like where you stand, so you get knocked far enough to the left, so the head doesn't immediately chomp you after the double spin. But this I was actually gonna ask you, like, so like if you are, you know, on official one-hit KO mode, like I was wondering if you would actually like wait, I guess, like for like not do the spin at the very beginning because it's slightly riskier. Because if you do get hit, right, then you're suddenly, you know, you have to go beat Trinex again. But it looks like actually Ray decided to go for it regardless. So it kind of depends on where Trinex is. If he's a lot lower, then I would probably just to go for a single spin and get knocked further to the left and then do 3 slashes. But in the situation that Ray was now, I probably would have done the same thing, just because I'm a lot more comfortable with that.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, just taking a D-boost, making sure he gets the arrows. Okay, so Matt is fine on arrows now. Ray's arrow count is beautiful now as well.
Yeah, so Matt is a little low on magic because he did take, you know, a hit from the anti-fairy, but he can just pick up the pot upstairs, right, in the Mimic's room? Or in the room? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. He'll probably just pick it up on the way to Mimic's one. It's a bit laggy because there's so much on screen already, but it's not too bad. Picking up the safety arrows as well. Like, considering the state of the race, there's nothing to lose.
Okay, yeah. I was actually gonna ask, I mean, so like 10 arrows feels like it should be in theory okay, but as you said, safety, you know, we're gonna use 8 for, I guess, like the 2 Mimic room, 1 here for the arrows, and then you always want a couple extra ones for the climb, right? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I'm not doing exactly that. Picking up the magic there, and then going for the Mimic strats. Really like this one. Okay, some extra arrows. Okay, didn't want to top it off to 28.
It's okay. He can use all the ones for the gauntlet. Oh, man. But nothing makes room low regardless from that. Yeah. Ray here is also in GT. So I know that Matt, we also do see him not do spike skip. Looks like, ooh, Ray though, saving the extra couple of, a handful of frames in order Dang boomerang, man.
All these different directions. Alright, gauntlet coming up. This is the best part of the run. Just being able to fly through these rooms if the RNG goes well. It's always a rush. Just having
yeah,
GT is just a super fun dungeon. It's like the combination of everything you've done throughout the run.
Yeah. No, in terms of game design, like this place is great, right? So like the basement, you know, while it is still, you know, tough in terms of execution, it's kind of like a, you know, where is the big key, right? You know, type of thing. You're searching through all these rooms, and then after you've literally gotten everything you need for the game, right? Now is just based on pure execution and skill and play. That's it. Yeah. As you said, trying to get through these rooms as fast as you really can.
Yeah, and like given the RNG, just because so much in this game is about responding to RNG well and handling that RNG as well as possible, and GT does exactly that. It kind of just forces you to react to all the different RNGs properly. Yeah, it looks like actually Ray was definitely much more comfortable getting the arrows in the chest as well. Like, unfortunately, we got a little bit of a glitch on our side, but the fact that he is here with no extra health, damage, or magic lost means that he was definitely able to get the chest before being able to get hit by the anti-fairy. Yeah, very nice. Alright, Matt, all the way through towards this one already. Doesn't go for the fireball skip here, but...
It's okay. At this point, he's probably well aware of the state of the race, right? And so the most important part for Matt is that he does not die.
You think he'll go for the hover?
I don't know if you know what? I think there was like a rando qualifier that was a hover seat, and I think that was the only time that I've ever seen Matt try to hover out Moldorm 2, and I'm pretty sure it took him on the scale of minutes in order to do it. So he probably won't do it. That's my guess.
Understandable. Okay, a little bit awkward answer here. Very nice way to handle it with the slash. Just hitting the switch, making sure that the packs are the other way around.
Oh, Ray is doing the arrow strat, I think, where you like with the bow, right? You hit the switch with the arrow, and then you're basically able to. I don't actually like. Is there a name for that strat?
I'm not sure. I think we just kind of coined it like the Eddie strat or the Koda strat right now.
Okay, all right.
Because he's the one that really started doing it, and it's a really fun strat.
Yeah, that combination with like following up with GVZ, like the room to be able to read it right. I mean, I think it's a very, very nice example and demonstration of just like good execution.
For sure, yeah. All right, Aga 2 from Matt coming up. Just like Aga 1, you just want 6 hits on him. But
yep.
yeah, being able to do it well is hard.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was actually a good second cycle to be able to knock the last hit into Aga. Man, blue balls though are really.
Oh man, it's so desynced right now. That third Aga is just so off sync. Yeah, nice land with 2 on Ray's side as well. Okay, very nice. I think it was a 4. I'm just gonna assume it's a 4. Maybe it was a 5.
It's hard to count these days. As you said, the third one was just basically all so decent. I didn't even know if there was any opportunity for Matt to even spin, just because like the third one just appeared so late for compared to everything else.
Yeah, that was a bit weird for sure.
Oh no, Ray, he is just not having any good luck these days in terms of just getting frame ruled. Unfortunately, he just got knocked by some of the red guards as he was trying to dash up, which can happen, completely out of his control. Not too much he can really do about it, and it does. Luckily, he didn't have to like fall and take like extra damage, but he definitely, unfortunately, had to suffer a bit of a time loss there.
Yeah, he did get the dash past the fireball though, so that's a victory on itself.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, Matt looks like he did get the 1-1. We, in fact, do not need Gold Sword in order to speed up the fight. We can actually just get all of our swords and slashes and spins in the first 2 phases. As we kind of progress. Ganon, hopefully.
Okay.
Progress. Okay.
This is, Ganon's not playing nice today.
Yeah, I guess he rewarded, like Matt with, a couple of extra, or like fewer blue balls, right? Just maybe get him extra warps. Oh, talking about
Matt.
cover though.
Let's go, Ray.
Yeah, nice job. Saving that extra time. Who needs Moldorm, man? Who needs that 20 rupees in that chest? Not that Matt opened either, but,
It's a matter of principle.
Exactly, yeah. Saving the time. I very much respect it.
Yeah, Matt is in full race mode right now. He's even going for the cave spin. Okay, yeah, so he puts it safe, goes for lamp torches, and then goes for the cave spin, because why not? Needs to get a little bit careful there.
Yeah, he did get nicked by the fire bat. Yeah, only 2 hearts of damage, so Matt should be in terms of fine in terms of not dying. Probably the dangerous part is being able to get knocked off by one of the fire bats.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few awkward patterns from Matt here. Just barely not reaching Ganon right after lighting the torch, but manages to take down Ganon. A very nice mid 126.
Oh yeah, no, very, very well played. Well done on Matt's side. Your GG's out, and he gets to take a victory over Ray in Tower of Hera Division for week 1.
Alright. And Ray just behind him. Like, it really feels like it's just
I mean, the
Helma
biggest
at this point, right?
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, like, the notable difference between Matt and Ray in this particular race was really just like, well, so it goes the Helma death, and then also we had 7 blue balls on Ray's side versus Matt's 3. Was that right?
Yeah.
Just like 30. Yeah, and the fact that we're Ganon fight apart, right? Means, I think that just means that like Ray, especially with he's gonna end on 128 maybe. Very very solid. Like really well done on Ray's side.
Looks like we're joined here by Matt already. Yo, GG's.
Yo, Matt, GG's. Congrats.
For fun. Thanks, guys.
Did you have the race pulled up at all? Kind of maybe keep tabs on what Ray was doing?
I pulled it up for the first time before Ice Palace.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know what happened to Ray. Did he die in Hera or something?
It was a Helma death. Okay, Ray also getting a cave spin. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like checking the race room because I don't like... There's no worse way to play this game than knowing you're way ahead and just don't screw it up. So that's kind of why I don't check, but I did check just because I make some different decisions if I know I'm ahead. So I did that, like the Louis Dash and Ice Palace, which is why I checked before Ice.
Yeah, okay, so it makes sense. Yeah, and Matt also finishes, or Ray also finishes with a 128.26. GG's.
Yeah, GG's, Ray. We are also, speaking of, we are also joined by Ray. GG's.
Yeah. Shitty dude.
Yeah.
You played, I think, very, very well. I mean, like, you know, as we kind of saw, like, there were two kind of like more notable time losses. Like, one was, unfortunately, you got 7 blue balls to Matt's 7, to Matt's 3, and of course the unfortunate incident with Helma. But I mean, like, for your time and what you did, I think very, very solid performance though. Like for the rest of the game, nice moth fight, by the way, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, the moth fight was really cool. Was close to gold actually, but the dungeon went not too well for me, but yeah, was good. I'm actually not too unhappy with the run, just the death of Helma and yeah, the 7 blue balls. I mean, you can't do anything against that, so yeah. Blue balls are blue balls.
Yeah. I mean, just one of the consequences you take when running, you know, or racing in NMG. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think we also had some. I'm not quite sure. I remember what happened on Cold Stare, but you were definitely very, very thankful for Sankart. That was definitely a situation. And then I'm also not sure how you avoided chops until the very, very end, because it definitely looked like you were supposed to get hit like at least 2 or 3 times before then. There was a lot of this is gonna be okay for Ray going on.
Yeah, Cold Stare was just, I don't know. I do the double poke strat and suddenly drop the sword. So I don't know. Probably just didn't hold enough out the dash. Was a little bit unlucky. Normally I nail it really well. Very consistent with it actually. So that's why I do it and not doing the 1 poke strat. But that happens from time to time, but it happened to me as well with the 1 poke strat or single poke strat, so yeah, was really lucky. I actually didn't know what happened at the tree rupees in Aga Tower, to be honest. I really thought I killed 4 what do you call it? NPCs?
Enemies?
Yeah. Enemies. Yeah, enemies. I don't know. I I stopped my dash for that. You call that the bird dash. You do the bird with that thingy what drops rupees. I stopped my dash to hit that because I was going for the pickle shot because of the bomb drop. I wanted to save that bomb, so I wanted to go for the pickle shot, and then I didn't. I had no opportunity to hit the pickle, so I was thinking, okay, don't do that. Just hit. Yeah, just hit the. Oh gosh, my English. Just hit the bird. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened that it doesn't work. Oh, now I know what happened. Yeah, okay. Now I remember what happened. I didn't hit the bird dash after the master sword. I did the dash there and I missed the bird. That's why I wasn't on 4 enemies. Yeah, now I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking, but now I remember. Yes, that was the issue, I guess. Yeah, I missed that. I forgot that I need that. Yeah, I should have hit it just normally.
To compensate for the pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, luckily you didn't get hit either. And so you're still able to get, I guess, the red rupees right before Hera Castle. Or yeah, so that was a good thing.
Yeah. Back of rupees. Should know that to save runs.
I guess for you, Matt. I mean, so you said you didn't tune in until basically Ice Palace. So like, did you have a kind of a feel, I guess, for how you think the race, like how you thought your the race was going?
No, like I played the late world wasn't great. It was like a 2940 something, and my pod and thieves were both not great, and neither was my skull, so I was not feeling great. But I saw when I turned on the stream, I was like, oh, he definitely must have died somewhere. And then I just kind of played it safe the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think that's totally very reasonable.
It's tough in these races because you get to the point where like if I was still like close to PB pace, I still would have like gone for it. But it's kind of tough to like decide what to do when it's just like don't screw up, you know.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're playing the same game in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like if that was an RTA attempt, I would have died in chomps 100% of the time. There when he ate my block.
Oh yeah.
Just like, but I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta wait this one out.
Yeah, I thought you played that really well. There were a couple situations where I thought like both of you reacted to certain RNGs really well. So it was a very interesting race to watch in that sense.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play a little bit better than this in the rest of the league, though, if we want to get some more wins.
I never know. Like NMG will always be NMG, and yeah, it's always unfortunate when deaths or big blue wall differences happen. Like we also like we've seen those like before in the race in the previous races as well. But yeah, I think the Hera group is pretty tight, so anything can happen.
Yeah, bringing it down to groups of 8 makes it real interesting.
I mean, you know, Arian mentioned before during commentary, Link is basically a glass cannon. I mean, and we kind of saw also on multiple instances where I think you were trying to get Ice Rod, right? And you just kind of got boxed in by the crabs. I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a runner you are. Like, you can't not take damage there. So
that was bad. There wasn't a whole lot I could do, and I didn't have beams, and I was just like, okay, well.
You're also holding the bomb.
Yeah, it was like, well, I hope I get some heart drops in Mire too, and I did, which was nice. Yeah, that was kind of unlucky.
Yeah, if all the crabs go to the left, there's just so little you can do besides
you
just
could
playing it
say
real slow.
like a triangle around me. Just like, oh man. There was like a half second where I was picking up the bomb. I was like, maybe I should have slashed right after I picked up this bomb, but it was too late at that point.
Yeah, all those decisions you have to make in a split second. I mean, that's what makes the game real hard. But
yeah,
thank you both so much for putting up the show.
Yeah, this was great. No, this was actually like it was a really great match to be able to watch. So yeah, so thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks guys, and GG's Ray. I look forward to you crushing my PB and never catching you again.
We will see.
Yeah, right. You're 6 seconds off from 124. Like that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I messed it up now like 10 times to get a 124. Now I'm like, whatever. I just play the game. I have really much fun with the game. And, sometimes I just get mad at the game, but it's almost every time because I do things wrong. So I can't blame the game. At least I enjoy it really, and yeah. I just like it to play. Actually,
yeah, that's the best place to be at. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're still enjoying it. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Thank you for commentating this race. It was very cool. I had the stream the whole race open and was listening to. It was very fun, actually.
You can listen and play at the same. How? Man, I don't understand you people. To be able to do stuff like this.
Yeah, we need the distraction.
No, but yeah. Any other thoughts maybe before we kind of like close things out? And then give you maybe a small break before you want to hop back into the to the weekly, and that's happening in 20 minutes.
That's it for me. There's gonna be no weekly for me, unfortunately. But good luck to all the weekliers.
I don't know. I decide in 10 minutes if I join.
Yeah, sounds good. You got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. No, I mean, what? You need a minute and a half to set up. That's right? Something like that? GG's as well. Both of you, well raced. Looking forward to more. This is the end of week 1, so I assume we'll see week 2 matchups here shortly. If you aren't following both runners for some reason, please give them both a follow. Ray and Matt, again, very well done. And our comms today, thank you to Airy and to Clearmouse for making life very easy on me. I appreciate you both.
That's what we're here for.
God, I can't thank you enough for that. So nice. That's not it for us on ZSR today. Just keep an eye on the schedule. We do have a few more things up. Couple is some Ocarina of Time rando, some Twilight Princess racing. Happens occasionally. We'll have some on there. Keep an eye on the schedule. I'm sure if there's something you find interesting, hopefully come back and see us here soon. Any final thoughts before we head on out for the moment?
Well, just thanks for the ability to restream this entire league, and thanks so much, Clearmouse, for the invitation for the comms. Always a great time.
Oh yeah, no, thank you so much, Airy. It was always a blast. Definitely looking forward to the next time. And yes, thank you so much, Cubs and CSR, and Fox and all the other admins, who basically put together the league. It's really exciting.
Well, until next time, thank you very much, everyone. We appreciate y'all for being here. Stay safe out there, and we will see you back here soon. Have a good afternoon.